Welcome to What Was on Wire. Today we're talking about Education Director General Azam Ahmad's decisive statements on the Malacca campus rape case and subsequent safety measures. This is a story that, it's understandably shocked so many people. A Form 3 student allegedly assaulted right there in a classroom by four of her own peers. And the details: two accused of the actual crime, two others apparently filming it, acting as lookouts. It really feels like more than just a terrible crime. It's like a crisis point for, school safety, trust in the system.
It absolutely is. When something this severe happens inside what's supposed to be a safe place, a school, well, the response has to be immediate and has to be thorough. Azam Ahmad's statement, it was significant precisely because it wasn't just empty words. It laid out this very clear two-pronged approach. You have, first, the immediate, pretty severe discipline for those involved, making sure justice, or at least accountability, starts right away. And second, there's this commitment to broader systemic reform, fixing things so this kind of failure hopefully can't happen again. It's like drawing a line, but also repairing the foundation underneath.
Okay, let's dig into that first part then, the immediate accountability. Azam Ahmad was very clear. All four suspects expelled from the school. That seems like the strongest, fastest message an education authority can send about safety, right? Removing them from that environment immediately.
It's a very powerful disciplinary signal, no question.
Yeah.
But that immediate expulsion also brings up a really interesting point about educational rights. It gets legally tricky. So while they're out of the school, these students are actually still allowed to sit for the SPM.
Oh, okay. So expelled but not barred from the national exam.
Exactly. The ministry seems to be drawing a distinction there. They're separating the criminal consequences from denying someone the chance of a basic qualification.
That is quite a distinction. So you strip the immediate privilege of attending school, but the right to attempt the national exam remains. How does that work logistically, though? If they can't be on school grounds, where do they expect these individuals who are under arrest for such serious charges to actually sit for the SPM?
Yeah, that's where you see the practical difficulty. And Azam Ahmad's statement gave those specifics. They have to take it at a designated location. He mentioned two possibilities, and both really underscore how serious their situation is. One option is a police detention center.
In detention, taking the SPM.
Yes. Or the other option is some external site, managed away from any school campus. Think about the resources, the security needed just to manage an exam under those conditions, maybe even inside a police facility. It really highlights their status now is primarily criminal suspects, not just students.
Wow. That detail about the detention center really drives home that tension between justice and education. And Azam Ahmad seemed to address that directly, didn't he? He said allowing them the exam does not mean they will escape criminal punishment. He's making it clear this isn't about leniency for the crime itself.
Precisely. And we have to remember, the police acted very quickly here. All four suspects were arrested. The investigation is under Section 376 of the Penal Code. That's rape. It's a major felony offense, carrying very serious potential sentences. The Ministry of Education also publicly stated they'd give full cooperation to the police. That signals they see this not just as a school discipline issue, but as a severe criminal act needing the full legal process.
Okay, so the immediate actions deal with the individuals. But, like you said, for many people listening, this points to a bigger system failure, not just for students. Let's look at that second part of Azam Ahmad's response, strengthening the system, the supervision, the accountability. What practical changes are actually being put in place now?
Well, the directives seem to be aimed right at the management chain, making sure responsibility flows from the top down. 3 specific levels were targeted for, let's call it enhanced oversight: state education department directors, then the district education officers, and finally school management itself. And the ministry has mandated a specific tactic for this, carrying out surprise checks.
Surprise checks. Okay, that sounds direct. But what does that look like in reality? Are we talking about new inspection teams or just telling current officers to, show up without warning?
It feels like it requires a real shift in how oversight works. Routine checks can sometimes allow issues to be sort of swept under the rug temporarily. Surprise checks, though, they're designed to find security risks as they are right now, catching people off guard if they've let things slip. It means those state and district officers need to be more than just administrators. They need to become active, sort of hands-on monitors of safety protocols, making sure student and staff well-being is truly the priority every day.
And it seems accountability goes right down to the classroom level, too. Azam Ahmad really stressed teachers needing to be physically present with students during teaching time. That sets a clear expectation, especially since this terrible incident happened in a classroom, suggesting maybe the basic supervision wasn't there at that moment.
That expectation is absolutely crucial. But, it does raise other questions. Things like teacher workload, administrative duties. Can they realistically maintain constant vigilance if they're overloaded? However, the message from the ministry is clear. Excuses won't cut it. Azam Ahmad used the phrase zero compromise policy.
Zero compromise. That's strong language politically. What does it mean in practice? How will they enforce that if, say, an administrator or an officer is found lacking?
It signals a pretty serious shift, I think. It means severe measures against anyone, teacher, principal, district officer, director, found negligent in their duty to keep students and staff safe. Maybe before, negligence might lead to a warning or a minor reprimand. This policy suggests much tougher actions, maybe demotion, maybe removal. It's about making it crystal clear that systemic safety failures won't be tolerated anymore, that everyone in that chain has direct responsibility.
It definitely sounds like the Ministry of Education is trying to ensure this tragedy leads to real structural improvements, not just quick fixes. Looking ahead then, what about the future reforms that were promised? Azam Ahmad mentioned a timeline, right? A comprehensive school safety guideline coming in December, after some kind of safety review.
Yes, and the focus seems to be on modernizing those guidelines, recognizing that perhaps the old rules just aren't enough for today's challenges. One specific proposal already floated for these new guidelines is recommending CCTV cameras in schools. As Ahmad explicitly said, the updated guidelines need to be more in line with the needs of the times and current challenges. So that points towards using technology to help with supervision.
CCTV. Okay, installing cameras across schools nationwide, that brings up big questions, doesn't it? Resources, cost, effectiveness. We're talking huge installation costs, ongoing maintenance, data storage. Who monitors it all? It's a massive undertaking, surely.
Oh, it's an enormous commitment, absolutely. Modernization here isn't just sticking a camera up, it's building a whole digital infrastructure to support it. They'll need clear rules on who views the footage, how student privacy is handled, whether it's mainly a deterrent or just for investigating after something happens. And, the whole atmosphere of a classroom changes when everyone knows they're being recorded constantly. But this policy shift suggests the ministry feels the added security is a necessary trade-off against these really severe modern threats.
And the fact that the education minister herself will announce these updated guidelines later this year, that signals pretty high-level political backing, doesn't it? This isn't just some committee decision.
Exactly, it gives a weight. So if you step back and look at the whole response, it really shows this dual approach. On one side, you've got immediate, quite severe punishment for the criminal act itself, getting the justice process moving. On the other side, there's this structured, planned approach for long-term prevention, focusing hard on supervision, accountability, and bringing in technology like CCTV. It's a very strong stance against institutional failure.
It certainly highlights the tough decisions leaders face in a crisis like this, punishing wrongdoing while trying to rebuild trust and stop it from happening again.
And that brings up a really interesting point for you, the listener, to consider. If stricter surveillance, like widespread CCTV in schools, becomes the norm to ensure safety, how do you weigh that increased security against the potential impact on student privacy and just the general feel, the culture of the school environment? Is that trade-off worth it?
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.